Pat Moriarty is an illustrator and cartoonist, known nationally for his comics, animation, and album art, and locally for beer labels, record covers, and logo design for local businesses such as Moment Brewing in Silverdale and Pups, Cups, and Cones in Bremerton. His shirt designs can be found at Fingers Duke. Some of Pat's work is currently here at Vibe Co-works in Paulsbo. Envision this: the traditional craft of quilting meets the counterculture art of punk rock. Intrigued? BCat's here with Pat to ask about this unconventional pairing. Pat, how did the idea come together to bring your work to quilting? And tell us about the collaboration with your 80-year-old aunt.
Well, how did this come about? I do a lot of shirt designs, do a lot of record covers and stuff, but like I accumulate these t-shirts. I don't like to wear my own shirts because it seems kind of self-absorbed, but I'm proud of them, but I don't wear them. So they started just piling up, and I was giving some away. So like my sister and other friends have shirts, but I still had a bunch of them. And I was trying to think of a way to archive them. And so I was talking to my mom one time, and she was talking about my Aunt Sandy, who lives in Wichita, Kansas, and she works for a professional quilt making company. And I started thinking, like, maybe I could archive them as quilts. And so I contacted her about it, and she told me that she would do that for me. And she gave me instructions on how to cut each image off the front of the shirts. And I ended up with like 65 shirts that I had, and I sent them to her. And that turned out to be enough to make 2 quilts, about 35 some shirts, 36 shirts per quilt. I just let her do it. I had a hands-off attitude because that's her art form. And I just said, don't pay attention to what the subject matter is on the shirts, because they're all for different things. Some of them are for punk rock bands. Some of them are for breweries. Some of them are for music venues. Some of them are for sports teams. So they're all different. So I said, don't pay attention to that. Just look for color and just look for the kind of patterns that you see. Also, she came up with these patterns for the back of the quilt.
Oh yeah, I like that fabric.
And also she put this thing here on the back. It says, this quilt belongs to Pat Moriarty, the designer of these t-shirts. The quilt was pieced by Pat's Aunt Sandra Brown Davis and machine quilted by Lisa Johnson, both from Wichita, Kansas in 2021-2022.
You had told me that you really liked the pattern of the stitching that she did on the quilt.
Yeah, I don't know if it shows on the camera, but there's like this pattern. It's kind of like a fire kind of flames, and the stitching is all over all of the shirts, so it kind of homogenizes everything. It pulls it all together and unifies it, and so I think that looks really great. And that's just part of it, makes it more like a real quilt. That's just part of the art form.
Yeah, well, the flame motif is kind of in keeping with the style of your art, too.
Yeah. So it is. It's a pretty punk quilt.
I have a question for you based on the interview that you recently did with the BCat television show Afternoons with Ash.
Oh, yeah, Ash Black.
Yes. Love that interview.
Oh, thanks.
In it, you said that you like to listen to the music of the particular band that's hired you to create their artwork. And so you must listen to a lot of music. And it begs the question, though, if you're working on a brewery artwork or beer label, does that mean you're drinking a lot of beer while you're working?
Well, when I listen to the music, it's like usually it's because I'm trying to dream up something for the record cover, and I like to listen to the music while I'm drawing because I want the artwork to smell like the music. I want there, to be a correlation. And but for the beers, yeah, I try the beer. The Slaughter County Brew Pub in Port Orchard is an example where it was close to my house. And I'd find out what kind of beer it was. And they also had the title of the beer, so then I would kind of base it more, the design, on the title of the beer. But I would try it, yeah. but I don't drink and draw because my motor skills aren't so good with that. I have bad judgment and bad coordination, and that doesn't mix.
That makes sense. So Pat, thank you so much. Where can people see your work besides this exhibit, which only runs through October?
Well, right now they're here at Vibe Co-Works, and then soon afterwards. Fingers Duke is a silk screener in Bremerton that they have a website, and they sell a lot of my shirt designs. And so I'm going to do, I think it's going to be in December or January, I'm going to show these quilts there. They have a huge wall, and we'll put them up there, and then we'll park a bunch of the shirts under the quilts and sell t-shirts. And then after that, Danielle Rimpert has a gallery in Bremerton, and I'm going to do something with her at her place too.
That's on Callow, right?
Yeah, that place on Callow. And then other than that, at the local record stores and stuff, I have the record designs for the local bands, the Weirdos. They have a new album out, and Neutral Boy. I did a cover for them, and that's out now. They're selling t-shirts of my work at Pups, Cups, and Cones in Bremerton. They just had their grand opening, so you can see some of my work there. I mostly just post stuff on Facebook. Like, if you want to be really up to date with what I'm up to, just friend me on Facebook. And almost every day or every other day, I'll post something that I'm working on.
Lovely talking with you, and fun to see your work. And please pass along to your aunt that I love this.
Oh, I will.
Combination of arts.
I'll make sure she sees this, and I appreciate your interest in my work.
Of course.
See more about Pat Moriarty at his website, and see Pat's interview on Afternoons with Ash on BCAT by checking out our YouTube channel at bcat.org.